Hi, so my name is Min Nguyen, and I'll be presenting on the Boeing 737 MAX program, the 737 MAX, or the 737 MAX aircraft. And okay, so going over the contents of my presentations, I'll be going over the 737 generations, the initial designs, the development, problems, and issues of the 737 and aftermath of recent incidents, and also current improvements progress. So start off with the first generations of the 737s. We have the 100 model and the 200 model. Uh, Boeing 737 100 and Boeing 737 200. And there are more than just two model for each generations, but I'm just showing the most common one. So the 100 model, it was $3.7 million US dollar, and this was currency in 1968 because the vehicle entered service in February 1968. And the 200 model, it entered service in April of 1968, and it cost right around 4 million US dollar as well. And it was also in the cost was also in 1968 currency. So moving on to the other two model of the second generations, there are the 737 400 and 500. The 400 was launched in February 1984, and the improvement on this vehicle was that it has an increased capacity in passenger and gas, and also it has an increase in flying range as well. And the vehicle was already retired in 2017, and the 500 model, um, the vehicle entered service in February 28th of 1990. The improvement was that it's 25% in it has a 25% increase in fuel efficiency. And the other two model of the third generations is the 700 and the 900. The 700 entered in December. It first flew in December of 1997, and it was the first model of the 737 family to have winglets. And moving on to the 900 model, we have that enter service also in 1997 as well, and this was a replacement for Boeing for Boeing 575-200 with a larger capacity for passenger to in order to compete with Airbus. So moving to the fourth generations, this is where we have the Max model, the 737 Max model, and there are four of the Max model: the Max 7, Max 8, Max 9, and 10. And the major improvement on this was that the engine, it was the CFM LEAP 1B with the advantage of high pass ratio, and improvement on this one was that um, it has a 25 no, I mean 20% more efficient per seat, more cost efficient per seat, and 5% lower in operating costs. And specifically the Max 8 was launched was first launched was first flew with Malindo Air on May 22nd, 2017. So development from the past Boeing 737 generations so far, what we can see is the engine sizing. Originally, the engine is wide enough to expand across the wing chord, like how we can see on the two picture on the left, far left, that of the 737-200, that the engine is long enough to expand and extend across the whole wing chord. And as the development on this aircraft got better, the engine got more efficient in sizing as well. So the engine got smaller and it moved more up front of the wing, as we can see on m- this middle two this middle two pictures and the far right two pictures. Is that the two aircraft engines of Boeing 737s are moved more up front. Another improvement on the 737 Max is the flight control systems, or the flight control software. The software is called the Maneuvering Control Augmentation System, or also known as MCAS for short. And this is for the purpose of flying, the purpose of helping pilots and airplane flying through high speed turn, and countering the likelihood uh, for the nose to pitch up, which will eventually stall the airplane. And MCAS is activated when the airplane is flying manually with autopilot system off. So the moving on to the problem and issues of negligence from Boeing and FAA is that Boeing committed to the committed to the 737 Max program without even having a finalized design or engine supplier due to competitions with Airbus. And it wasn't like a normal competition that they committed to. It seems like they rushed to the competition in order to catch up with Airbus, and they had to delay their development in the 787 Dreamliner program. And moving on, and more negligence on the FAA was that the FAA technical review on the 737 Max were also rushed in order to reach the certification dates, and pilots operating the 737 Max around the world were not informed about, and they weren't trained on the MCAS system at all. So, and that is the result, and that resulted to a to the first crash of the 737 Max with Lion Air. Is that flight 610 of Lion Air crashed on October 28th, 2018. The technical problem was that the angle of attack sensor were giving faulty reading, and it activated the MCAS. The angle of attack sensors were miscalibrated by 21-degree off, and the company that miscalibrated the sensor, Extra Aerospace in Florida, had to be shut down by the FAA. And the pilots of Flight 610 were resisting control, from the MCAS, but the system relentlessly reactivated 26 times in order to bring the nose down, and the pilot couldn't bring the nose back up until the plane crashed. And after investigation, technical expert has found that if MCAS went wrong, pilot could have cut electric power to the horizontal tail and control it manually. But then the next crash, the second crash of Boeing 737 Max with Ethiopian airline, was that the pilot operated the same procedure, cut off the electric power to the horizontal tail, but then the problem was that uh, the airplane was moving too fast in order to control the horizontal tail manually, and the MCAS was activated again, due to the angle of attack sensor or AOA sensor, and the sensor was 75 degree, and it was impossible for an airplane to move at 70 to fly at 75-degree angle of attack. And investigation showed that it was due to a bird strike. And flight 302 of Ethiopian airline crashed after just 4 minutes after taking off. And as a result of those two crash, every single Boeing 737 MAX around the world were grounded until it is approved to be safe to fly again by the FAA and safety regulators in different countries. And the grounding of 737 MAX was 20 months. It started in March 2019 and ended in November of 2020. So the current, I mean, not the current, what Boeing has done in improvement and redevelopment of the 737 MAX was that they fixed the MCAS system to rely on two angle of attack sensor instead of only one, and the MCAS can only activate once, and it can never override the pilot's control and command of the airplane. And another improvement was also that they updated the software to be loaded on all airplane before returning to service. And another thing that Boeing did to improve the 737 Max was that they have put tremendously a lot of effort in regulations and safety standard and also testing. Um, there was countless thousands of tests and check flight operated by technical expert like engineers and technicians and pilots in order to verify that the airplane is safe to be safe to be returned back to service. And the first flight of 737 Max after grounding was with American Airline from Miami, Florida, to New York's LaGuardia Airport on the 25th of November 2020. And after this incident, we can learn that it's not always beneficial to prioritize competitions or prioritize profit in the business, but more on the safety of people's life. And this is the end of my presentation. Thank you.